This is the Louie Tee Network.
Who else could it be? Me, your man, Louie Tee. Welcome to the 2017 NFL Draft Prospects 101 series, your guide to some of the biggest and hottest names of the 2017 NFL Draft. We're now switching gears from the offensive side of the football to the defensive side, where the talent is limitless. It is flowing, okay, like a gushing river. And we're gonna jump into this river and swim and swim and swim again. We're gonna start with the defensive line, and we're gonna start with the guy that's gonna be right around the top of this draft. Now, I've heard his name mentioned at 1 before, but we know he's not going first. He's either gonna go second or he's gonna go in that 2nd to 7 range. Either way, he's coming off the board relatively fast. I'm talking about Alabama defensive lineman Jonathan Allen. To me, one of those can't miss prospects. I don't know how good he's gonna be, but I know he's gonna be good, okay? Is he gonna be Aaron Donald good? Probably not. He doesn't possess the same level of quickness and ability that Donald possesses, but could he be Fletcher Cox? You damn right he can be. And we're gonna talk about why I feel like he could be that kind of player at the next level. Let's talk about Jonathan Allen and his pros and why this guy could be a big time impact player for some team in the top 5 potentially of this draft. So you start with Jonathan Allen and his size. I think it's a really solid size at 6'3", 286 pounds. Could he be taller? Could he be longer? Could he be a little bit thicker? Sure, why not? But his size to me gives him the versatility and the quickness that he has and his ability to win in certain situations. And I think his size is an actual pro, not a con. And if you talk to some people, it is a con. It is a problem. But for me, it's not. It's part of the reason this guy is what he is as a football player. You go to his strength. I think his strength is something that I don't know if he was going to be as strong as he was. Again, you hear 286 pounds and you're asking yourself, okay, then what are you at 286? Because you hear 286 and you're thinking, okay, he's probably a 5 tech, you know, in a 3-4 defense. He's probably an interior defensive lineman. But this guy was playing everywhere at Alabama. Defensive end, defensive tackle, both sides, both interior positions, all over the place. Nickel sets, they kick him inside. Base sets, he'd be outside. All over the place, okay? This guy was everywhere for them, which is another pro, not just lumping in now, his ability to just be versatile. And I think it's not just within your scheme, but I think he's scheme diverse. I think he could be a 5 tech for someone and set the edge physically in a 3-4 defense as a 5 technique. I don't know necessarily if you would want to waste him that way. I feel like he's better suited to be an interior defensive lineman in a base 4-3 set where you're looking at 4 defensive linemen. I think he's better in an even front than he is in an odd front, but I think he can play in both of them and be just as effective, but I think he would be even more so effective, more of a threat to get to the quarterback, which I think is his specialty in an even front more so than an odd one. But nonetheless, his strength and his ability to be stopped at the point of attack is alarming. This is a guy that when he wins up front with getting to that offensive lineman into their body first, I watched this guy not even be ready on a play. I was watching them against like Washington in the playoff game. And they're walking around and Washington is trying to switch up tempo and he's not even set yet. And I think he did the same thing against Florida. They're not even set yet. And the offensive lineman, the guard, has an opportunity to really get off the ball and try to get into Jonathan Allen's body. And all Allen does is he sets up a nice firm base, arches that back a little bit, and he bench presses that offensive lineman. He doesn't move an inch. Allen doesn't move an inch. The running back runs right at Allen. He discards and sheds, gets the tackle. And that's what this guy does. Okay, stacks and sheds beautifully. That's another pro. Let's talk about it right now. Because to me, in the run game, this guy is never blocked unless you're double teaming him. If you run right at Jonathan Allen, you run the risk of this guy making the play, because I didn't see one time, unless he was double teamed, where he didn't stack and shed an offensive lineman, where he didn't discard. As soon as the running back came and get in on the tackle, make the tackle himself or get in on the tackle. I mean, this guy is amazing. His ability to stack and shed is uncanny. I haven't seen many do it better than Jonathan Allen at that level in terms of just getting rid of an offensive lineman and getting into play. I can't tell you how many times I watched this guy discard, stack, shed, and get after it in the run game. And so that was so impressive to me. Very, very impressive. He's got extremely strong hands. That's the next pro. I mean, you see guys' necks snap back when he touches them, when he comes in contact with them. Reminds me a little bit of how Khalil Mack was coming out of Buffalo. The shock and awe and the violence in his hands. I don't think his hands are as strong as Khalil Mack's, but I do think he has very, very strong hands. They're quick. They give him an advantage. He has very good hand usage for a guy coming out of the college ranks. And I talked about that with Joey Bosa last year, how hand usage can make a huge difference coming to the next level, because a lot of guys coming from the collegiate ranks don't have that in them going to the NFL level. They normally learn it when they get to the league. They don't know anything about hand usage in college. And this guy already knows the art of hand fighting. He knows karate already coming into the NFL. So I think his hands are strong and he knows how to use them. Rip and swim move, that's another pro for him, or pros. Those are two of his go-to moves right there. The swim move to me is his best move, by far and away, his fastball. When he gets off the line of scrimmage, and I'll just throw in another pro while I'm here, quickness. He's got quick feet, quick hands, and when those two are synced up together, watch out, especially on a 3rd and 7 situation when he knows it's a passing play, and before the snap, he's already made up his mind, and I'm going to use this swim move right off the snap, and maybe he's already set the offensive guard or the tackle up with a couple of outside rush moves. So now he's primed and ready to go for a nice hard outside, back inside swim move, rip, boom, to the quarterback. All right. His favorite move on the outside when he's at edge is to dip and rip. And sometimes it's effective, sometimes it's not. I don't think he has the elite quickness off the edge to use the dip and rip and have it work as effectively as the swim does inside, which I think is his best move. A lot of times when he gets to the quarterback, I think his signature play in college football, if you will, in 2016 is versus Texas A&M. He wins with the swim move, and he had a freshman guard on him, and he abused him all day long in that game, whether it was in a run game, screen game, or in a passing game. He was a menace versus Texas A&M because they had a young guard that just didn't know what to do with this senior defensive, a grown man in front of him. And so he was abused all day long, and Allen beats him on a swim move right off the snap. They have a running back in there that tries to cut him. He dives over that running back and tackles Trevor Knight for about an 11-yard loss. Beautifully executed play. He looked like goddamn Superman diving in the air and destroying and engulfing Trevor Knight. It was a beautiful thing to watch. That's what I mean when I talk about quickness. That's what I talk about with the swim move. And that's why this guy is one of the most elite pass rushers from the interior in this draft that you will find. Awareness. I love the fact that this guy is very sound in his principles. If you tell him to stay outside, he's outside looking for read option. This guy, if you're asking him to run a TE stunt or run TE game, he does his job. He'll take up 2 blockers and sacrifice himself for the good of the team on that particular play. He's very aware. He reads screen very well. I watched him in the USC game. Early in that game, they're looking to run screen, and he's just not having it. He's not having it. And so I love the awareness. He's a guy that, I know I'm not getting there. I know I'm not getting to the quarterback. So what do? I'm looking to knock the football down. Same USC game. He runs a TE stunt. He's at tackle end. He comes inside. He's not getting there. They're waiting on him. So what does he do? He keeps eyes on quarterback. Quarterback looks to unload the football. He jumps in the air, almost picks it off. That's the awareness that I'm talking about. He's always looking for the football. This guy had 3 fumble recoveries, 2 of which went for touchdowns in 2016. So he's aware, he's around the football, he makes plays. High motor. This guy didn't take snaps off. I don't think he even knows the definition of taking a snap off. I've never seen him lean on an offensive lineman. I've never seen him go half-assed. When he's on the field, he's emptying the tank. Love that about him. High motor guy. Just a great leader, the type of guy you want in your locker room that sets an example either by talking or by doing, but these are the type of character guys you want in your locker room. I talked about the versatility already. His pass rush ability, though, to me is what sets him apart, what makes him such an intriguing prospect. I think he can stop the run. I think there are some flaws that he just can't help. We'll talk about those when we get to the cons. But the one thing that he brings to the table that I think is going to help him, the things that those 2 defensive linemen out of Alabama last year, and Jaron Reed and Ashawn Robinson didn't have, which saw those guys fall to the second round, is that he can rush the passer. His ability to get to the quarterback is uncanny. Those guys last year didn't get to the quarterback. This is a guy that had double-digit sacks the past 2 years. And he may have snuck up on some teams last year as a junior. They knew who Jonathan Allen was this year. He still managed to get 10.5 sacks. Remember Joey Bosa and all the hype surrounding him and how teams started to really go after him? Well, maybe teams couldn't necessarily do that against him because Alabama had so many guys you had to worry about. But nonetheless, I don't give a damn. He still went out and put up numbers. And that's what leads me to believe that he can do this at the next level. His pass rush ability, that's the swim move for me, is his go-to move. And that's what's going to make this guy a lot of money throughout the course of his NFL career, along with that quickness and the hand usage that he brings to the table. Collegiate productivity. I just talked about this guy and his ability to get it done. 28 career sacks, 45 tackles for loss throughout his career. Team captain, all the things you're looking for. Back-to-back double-digit sack seasons. 12 and a half last year, 10 and a half more this past season. This is a guy that can get it done. And so this is he's one of those guys, 2 years ago, I should say, and 10 and a half this past year. He's one of those guys that is just as consistent as the day is long. And that's what you want. You want consistency out of your top high-level football players. That's what you get out of Jonathan Allen, snap in and snap out. So we go from all of those pros and all of the things I think make him a top 5, potential top 10 pick in this draft, to a few items that either he can or can't control. Nonetheless, I don't think it's going to knock him down too much in most people's book, but nonetheless, worth talking about anyway. Let's talk about Jonathan Allen's cons. So I've listened to a lot of the debates on Jonathan Allen and his size and how he's not big enough at 6'3", 286 pounds. For me, that's hogwash. But I think there is a length issue. He's not that long of a defender, and that can come back. Unlike an Ashawn Robinson last year, who was 6'5", 280 some odd pounds, 290 some odd pounds, but had long vines for arms and was 6'5". That's not what Jonathan Allen is. At 6'3", 286, and 33-inch arms. Not the longest guy in the world. And when you start talking about these guards and these tackles who have, 35 and 36-inch arms and they're 6'6", they're going to have the ability to get their hands on Allen first. And that will negate his biggest attribute to me, which is his ability to get onto an offensive lineman, shock and awe with those violent hands, and then quickness with those as well. Now, again, he can still win with quickness. When that tackle goes or that guard goes to put their hands on him and he slaps them down with that swim move, he can still win. But on tape, when he didn't win, when he was at a stalemate a lot of times, it was because that lineman won with hands first. And it was just simply, he didn't have the length to contact him first. And a lot of times when he gets off the ball quicker, gets off the snap quicker, he's able to initiate contact and be the aggressor. when he's not the aggressor, when he's not first, he can lose if a guy has the ability to keep him at bay with length. So that could be an issue at the next level. I definitely see that argument coming to fruition potentially at the next level, but still doesn't diminish what this guy is as a football player, especially as a pass rusher. So I'm not buying it, but I definitely see how length could be an issue for Jonathan Allen at the next level. And finally, for me, he misses some tackles. I've actually heard the discussion and the debate that teams in a one-gap system might not be ecstatic about the number of tackles for loss. Hey, and I've actually heard people also say, hey, guy, you play at Alabama. No wonder you still had double-digit sacks, unlike a Joey Bosa who played at Ohio State. Teams could just focus in on him. Hey, it's Alabama, both ways. If you want to go that direction and say, hey, he played at Alabama, so they couldn't really double-team him and he got one-on-one matchups and he won. Okay, fine, whatever. But also know that he played at Alabama, so when you start talking tackles for loss, he has to share, okay? There's studs everywhere. You look at the safety, Harrison, he's everywhere, including the backfield. You look at Reuben Foster, he's everywhere, including the backfield. He's got to share. The guy on the defensive line along with him, Payne, this guy was bringing pain, okay? He's got to share, all right? Anderson at linebacker at Alabama, he's making tackles. Oh, by the way, these corners, they tackle too. All right, so they've got Humphreys is all in the backfield making tackles. He's got to share, all right? Dalvin Tomlinson is going to be drafted as a defensive tackle. He's got to share with all of these guys. So when he still goes out and gets 15, 16, 19 tackles for loss in a season, how can you scoff at that? I don't understand. So now I will knock him for this. He could have had more tackles for loss. He missed tackles in the backfield. He would win immediately off the snap, or a guy simply wouldn't touch him, or they would try to block him with a pulling guard, and he'd just shoot into the backfield. He's got a free run at the running back, and he'd miss. He'd come up high, running back would duck, or he'd slide down his jersey and fall off of him. Make the tackle, big fella. Make the tackle. Come under control. I know it's easier said than done. We're talking 290 pounds essentially. No, it's harder to do this than me just talking about it, but you gotta make those tackles, big fella. You wanna make the big bucks? You wanna be a big man? Dig on that. You kidding me or what, man? Make the tackle. So, bottom line for me, Jonathan Allen is a can't miss prospect, okay? You want consistency. You want a guy that's gonna work his ass off. You want a guy that's gonna get to the quarterback. You want a guy that's gonna be stout at the point of attack. You want Jonathan Allen. End of discussion. I have nothing else to say on the matter. That's Jonathan Allen and his draft prospects 101 breakdown. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here on the Louie Tee Network. Come back and join me. I got more defensive players, man. We're going to jump into this defensive thing, and it's going to go quick because the draft is going to be here before you know it. So we're going to fly through these, man. I'm going to see y'all next time. Have a good one.